Long, long ago, there lived 3 friends. They made their living by selling spices. One day, one of the friends had an idea.
Let's go to the neighboring country. I've heard that the people there like spices. We can sell our spices to them.
But isn't the neighboring country far away?
No, it isn't. It'll take us just a few days to get there. Come on, let's go.
On the way, the 3 friends came across an enormous desert.
Huh? Friends, look, there's a desert here. It looks really big. This desert is not that big. We'll cross it in no time. Come on, let's go further.
And so the 3 friends went further into the desert. It's very hot here. I can't walk any further.
Me too. Let's turn around. No, let's pitch our tent and rest now. We'll travel at night when it's cooler.
And so the 3 friends rested in the day, and they only traveled at night. This made their journey across the desert much longer. After a few days, all the friends grew very tired.
I'm also tired of carrying all the food, water, and firewood we have.
I think we should rest for a day before we go any further.
I know how to read the stars, and they're telling me that we are very close to our destination.
Suddenly, a storm broke out in the desert.
Ow, there's sand in my eyes. I can't see a thing. Let's wait for a while. The storm will pass.
In the meanwhile, the camels walked further and further, and in no time they were far away from the 3 men.
Where are our camels? We've lost them. They've gone far away from us. Oh no!
And so the 3 friends were stuck in the desert for a long time.
I think we've learned our lesson. Let's not be blindly so sure of anything again.
The 3 friends had learned a lesson. They realized how dangerous it was to be overconfident and too sure of oneself. Nicky grew up on a farm in the countryside. His parents were farmers. They had never been to school.
This is for you, Nicky.
Yes, thank you.
Nicky, we'd like you to go to the best school in the country.
Huh? But won't that be expensive?
Don't worry about anything, son. Just do your best.
And so, Nicky went to the best school, while his mother and father worked very hard to pay the school fees. After some months, Nicky returned to the farm for the holidays.
Mother and Father, these are my best friends.
Hello, sons.
Welcome to our farm.
Nicky's parents welcomed his friends warmly. One day, one of the friends showed Nicky's parents a book. When the boys heard that Nicky's parents couldn't read and write, they began laughing.
Did you hear that? Nicky's parents can't read and write. They haven't been to school.
Huh?
Nicky felt very embarrassed.
Why did you tell my friends that you didn't know how to read and write? Everyone will laugh at me.
Nicky's parents felt very hurt, but they didn't say a word. A few days later, Nicky fell ill. He had to stay home for a long time.
I must ask my friends to visit me. I'll feel much better when they come.
Nicky waited for his friends, but they didn't come to see him. Nicky was disappointed, but his parents took very good care of him. They gave him healthy food, spent all their time with him. When Nicky found out how much trouble his parents had taken, he asked for forgiveness.
I'm so sorry, Mother.
Don't worry, son. Just get better soon.
We'll always be there for you. When Nicky went back to school, he studied very hard. He became a doctor. He bought a big house and invited his parents to stay with him. And whenever he met anyone, he always told them to love their parents.
The Foolish Raven. There once lived a raven near a pond. There also lived a swan on a nearby tree. The swan used to spend most of his time swimming in the beautiful pond. The raven was always sad about his color. He used to feel jealous of the swan's beauty. One day, as he was admiring the beauty of the swan, he thought, I wish I were as beautiful as the swan. The raven wondered how the swan could be so beautiful and so white. He thought, it's because he's always in water and bathing all the time. The raven then decided to bathe as many times as possible. He believed that by doing so, he would become as white and beautiful as the swan. With great hope, the raven began his exercise to become beautiful. The swan and other birds became curious about what the raven was up to. Even after several baths, the raven's appearance did not change a bit. Yet, he was not ready to give up. The raven bathed so many times a day. Finally, one day, he fell very ill. The raven found it very difficult to recover from his illness. At last, he realized his mistake. I have to give up this vain attempt. I must learn to be happy being what I am, he said to himself. From then on, the raven was always a happy bird. Be happy for what you are. The Tortoise and the Hare. There once lived a tortoise in a jungle. He was very brave and hardworking. There also lived a hare that was always arrogant. He firmly believed that he is very intelligent. One day, the hare was relaxing below a shady tree. The tortoise happened to pass that way. The hare looked at the slow tortoise and remarked, "It must be a shame being as slow as you are. Do you ever manage to get anywhere?" The tortoise replied with a smile, "Yes, I do. In fact, I can do things better than you." This reply irritated the hare. He decided to have fun. "Can we have a race then? If you win, I accept your capability," said the overconfident hare. Thus, the race was finalized. The news of the race spread like a wildfire across the jungle. The animals were all excited. The race thus began. As expected, the hare was too fast and he disappeared in no time. The poor tortoise was left far behind. But the tortoise did not get disheartened. He kept on going. After traveling half the distance, the hare decided to take rest. He knew that the crawling tortoise would take several hours to crawl towards him. While the hare slept, the tortoise kept plodding on. Finally, at dusk, the hare woke up from his sleep and ran swiftly to the destination. But to his surprise, the slow and steady tortoise had already reached the finishing line much earlier. The animals of the forest were overjoyed at the success of their dear friend. Slow and steady wins the race.
Lion and the Boar. In a dense forest, there lived a majestic lion, the king of the jungle. One day, a wild boar came to the pond to drink water. And then, the lion also came there to drink water.
I am the king of this jungle, and I will drink this water first. You have to wait till I finish drinking.
Nothing doing. I don't care who you are. I came here first. And I'll drink first. If you think you're powerful, try to stop me.
How dare you speak like this to me? I am the king of this jungle.
Both the lion and the wild boar started fighting. The vultures, sitting on a nearby tree, were watching this.
Look at these two, the way they are fighting. One of them is bound to die. We will have a tasty meal today.
I am the king of this jungle, and I should not be fighting with the boar for small reasons as drinking water. Hey, look up there. All those vultures are waiting for one of us to die. Why should we feed the vultures? Can't we be friends?
You're right. It is wise on our part to stop quarreling and drink water and go our way.
Since you came to the pool first, you can drink the water first. I will have it after you have finished.
Both the animals drank water and went their ways. The disappointed vultures flew off one by one, realizing there was no use of waiting anymore. Moral: one must act according to the situation and should learn to compromise. The value of friendship. Birdie was a lonely hawk and had no friends. One day, he met an attractive female hawk from a nearby tree. He courted her and wished to marry her.
Will you marry me, oh lovely one?
You are a lonely bird and have no friends. I will marry you only when you have made a few friends.
The male hawk flew away in search of animals he could be friends with. On the way, he met an osprey, a tortoise, and a lion. They all agreed to be his friends. Birdie flew back to meet his lady hawk.
I have made 3 new friends. Now will you marry me?
Yes, now I will. They got married in the presence of their new friends. Months went by. Soon they had young ones, and this added to their happiness. One day, there came 2 hunters to the forest. They camped the night under the tree in which the hawk nested in. The hunters lit a bonfire to keep themselves warm and went to sleep. The smoke from the fire reached the top of the tree.
That smoke is choking our young ones. Do something. Wait here. I will get my friends to help us.
The hawk went to Osprey and explained the situation to him. Both flew back to the nest. Osprey soaked himself in the lake and flew over the fire and shook his wet wings. He did this several times. The droplets of water extinguished the fire.
It's cold. The fire is gone. Let's light it up again.
They lit the fire again. Meanwhile, one of the hunters noticed the hawk's nest above the tree.
Look, it's a hawk's nest. Let's catch the bird and make some money.
One of the hunters climbed the tree. This frightened the lady hawk.
Look, the hunter is climbing the tree. Our children are in danger.
The hawk went to his friend, the tortoise, and explained the situation to him. The tortoise came and walked close to the hunters so that they noticed him. One of the hunters shouted,
Look, a big tortoise. That will fetch us more money than the birds. Let's catch it.
Both the hunters quickly got some rope. They tied one end of the rope to the tortoise and the other to their waist. But the tortoise was too strong for the hunters. He dragged the hunters into the lake with him. The hunters untied the rope and got out before they drowned. By then, the hawk had called his lion friend. The lion roared and jumped in front of the hunters.
Lion, run for your life!
The hawk thanked his friends for all the help. He realized the value of friendship and the reason his wife insisted on making friends. Moral: a friend is never known till the end. The Golden Swan. In a lake lived a beautiful golden swan. This swan was a rebirth of a noble farmer from a nearby village. One day, the farmer's wife came to fetch some water by the lake. She saw the golden swan, and to her surprise, the golden swan spoke.
I am your husband, reborn as a golden swan. I am here to help you and our children.
But how can you help us?
You can pluck one gold feather every day and sell it to get all the things that you need.
That's wonderful! Now we will not have to live in poverty. She plucked a feather from the swan's plume. Every day, she came to the lake in secret to pluck a feather. As time passed by, she had a beautiful house and servants to do all the work. One day, when she was sitting in her house, she thought to herself, "What if the swan suddenly disappeared? I would have no gold feather to sell." The next day, when she went to the lake to pluck the feather, "Dear one, come and stay with us so that we can take care of you." The swan readily agreed, as he wanted to see his children. The farmer's wife arranged for the swan to stay in the backyard of her house. This way, the farmer's wife could keep a watch on the swan and not let him go away. Months passed by, and the farmer's wife got greedier. "The feathers that I pluck are always replaced by new ones, so why not pluck more feathers? This way, I will have more feathers to sell and make more money." As usual, she went to the swan to pluck the feather for the day. "Dear one, I do not want to trouble you every day, so I shall pluck some extra feathers today and not disturb you for a few days."
That is thoughtful of you, my dear, but it's not possible. I am not allowed to give away more than one feather each day.
This angered the farmer's wife. She grabbed the swan and plucked all the feathers. "Oh no! These are turning to normal feathers."
You should have listened to me. I was about to tell you that if you plucked more than one, the feathers would not be of gold.
This angered the farmer's wife, and she threw the bird out of the house. "You are of no use to us now. Go away." The swan walked to his lake a sad bird. The farmer's wife spent all the wealth she had. This time, she had no noble golden swan to rescue her from the poverty. Moral: misfortune tells us what fortune is. Jackal and the Wise Mouse. One day, a jackal looking for food spotted the king of mice and his whole community.
I can catch a mouse right now, but that would only fill my stomach for a day. I should act wisely to make sure that I have food for at least a month.
So the jackal stood under a tree near the mouse hole on one leg with his mouth open. When the Mouse King came out, he inquired,
"Sir, what are you doing? Why are you standing on one leg?"
So that the earth does not need to bear the weight of me on 4 legs.
"Sir, why is your mouth open?"
To get in a lot of air, as I am feeding on air to survive.
"Why are you facing the sun?"
So that I can offer my prayers to the sun god all the time.
The Mouse King was very impressed with the simplicity and devotion of the jackal. The whole mouse community heard of the saintly jackal. They went to seek his blessings before they went off in search of food. As the last mouse turned to go, the jackal jumped on him and gobbled him up. This way, the jackal ate a mouse every day. Days passed by, and the jackal got plump and stout.
It is a miracle that the jackal living on air is getting healthier day by day.
Just then, the Prime Minister came to the king.
It's strange, O king. I am worried about some mice that have gone missing. Missing? Yes, O king. It is very strange. The mice have just disappeared. There's no clue if they've been killed or taken away, as nobody has seen any such incident.
The Mouse King was immediately suspicious of the jackal, and after some thought, realized how the jackal must be catching the mice unaware. The next day, the king remained at the end of the line to get blessings from the jackal. When the king mouse turned to leave, the jackal pounced, but the alert king moved out of the way and the jackal fell to the ground. Hearing all the commotion, the mice ran to their king's rescue. They started to chase the jackal as a group. The jackal ran for his life and never returned. Thus, the wise Mouse King saved his subjects from the cunning jackal. Moral: evil to him who thinks evil. The bull's advice. A farmer had a loyal bull that used to help him in farming. One day a bug flew into his backyard.
You work hard every day. You help the farmer plow the fields. You help them travel from place to place pulling their carts. But what do you get to eat? Just some grass and fodder. What a pity!
Dear friend, I don't have any complaints. I am very happy to serve the humans. They look after me very well.
The humans are just using you for their purpose. That's why I don't work for humans. Instead, I suck their blood. But you are so big and mighty, yet you slave for humans. Look at me, how tiny I am, but I suck their blood.
I work for the humans because they feed me well. They look after me every day. They give me shelter. They treat me if I fall sick. Me affectionately on my back and say loving words to me. They appreciate my gratefulness to them. They do all this because I serve them loyally.
But this is very little for what you do for them. You work day and night for them, and all they do is just pat your back. I think I am far better than you, even though I am so tiny in size. Shame on you!
You fool! Don't feel proud of yourself. The humans dislike you because you suck their blood for free. You do not help them in any way. You are a pest to humankind.
I don't care.
Without listening to the bull's advice, the bug flew off. One day, as usual, the bug sat on the farmer to suck his blood. What a silly pest! Bad deeds always have bad results. If she had been more helpful, she would not have lost her life. Moral: what we sow, so shall we reap. Tale of the Three Fish. There once lived in a lake 3 big fish who were close friends, but they were quite different in their way of thinking. One among them was very wise. He took every action after careful thought. Another was intelligent, resourceful, and always cheerful, whereas the third fish always believed in one's fate. One day, the wise fish found a couple of fishermen on the shores. He became curious and observed them talking. Soon he came to know that they were planning to fish the lake the next day. He rushed to the others and informed them about the fishermen's plan. The wise fish also suggested,
Let's leave the lake. There is a canal in the lake which will take us to another lake so we can be safer.
I don't think we should leave this place, said the resourceful fish. Instead, let's find some way to save ourselves when they come to catch us. The third fish, on the other hand, thought,
Whatever's bound to happen will happen, so why should we worry?
He left everything to fate as usual. The wise fish did not take any risk. He immediately left the lake through the canal, whereas the other two remained in the lake. The next day, the fishermen came and cast their nets in the water of the lake. The two friends who remained in the lake got trapped among the other fish. The resourceful fish immediately thought of a way to save himself. He pretended to be dead. When the fisher found him lying still, they threw him out with the other dead fish. He managed to hop to the edge of the lake and then jumped into it and thus saved himself. The third fish, who believed in fate, kept jumping up and down in the nets with no chance of escape. His fate was thus to die. It is foolish to leave everything to fate.